Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Indeed, none but ourselves can free our minds. So sang Bob Marley in the words of Marcus Garvey. But those words, those beautiful words from Redemption Song, they are a very yogic message. There's a lot of yoga messaging in Bob Marley's lyrics, at least in my opinion. And this is, emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. This comes from the song Redemption Song. How are we going to redeem ourselves when we have allowed ourselves to become enslaved, enmeshed, confined in a prison of our own making? How are we going to deal with this tricky mind, this mind-ego complex that doesn't really want to change because, like anything else in existence, it fears change. It equates change with death. And so many of our long-established habits that might not really be serving our highest interest, that might actually be tremendously self-sabotaging, that might be getting in the way of our own deeper longings and truer desires. Those habits, those tendencies, they will fight dirty. They will cling on for dear life. They'll do all sorts of tricky things to cling on and so keep us confined and trapped in this prison that we have at least been complicit in constructing. So, how to come out of that prison? This is the topic, or one of the key topics, one of the main topics in the online satsang course I'm looking forward to sharing this June. So the course is called Sadhana, Sovereignty and the Ocean of Practice. And in this course, we will refer to teachings from the Yoga Sutra and the Bhagavad Gita on Raja Yoga, the royal path of yoga, to become a true sovereign of this field of experience. Because Krishna makes it very clear in the Bhagavad Gita, your life is your responsibility, your experience is your responsibility. This field of psychic experience, of mental experience, is your realm. And our task as human beings, according to yoga, is to actually reclaim full sovereignty for our experience here, now, in this life. But how to do it? Well, that's what yoga is all about. And one thing I absolutely love in the yoga tradition is the way to do that is illustrated so beautifully and in such a mutually complementary way through different presentations in different texts and different types of text. So in this course, one thing I'm especially enthused to be doing is to be weaving together teachings from the Ramayana, this wonderful story, one of my favorite yoga stories, and it's just beautiful as the Ramayana. We'll be focusing on Hanuman and some of his exploits in the third session. And then we're going to recap everything we've done in the fourth session when I'll tell the story of the churning of the ocean of milk, one of the key myths in the yoga tradition. But before we get there, using Ramayana and key teachings from Bhagavad Gita and Yoga Sutra in the first three sessions, we will look at what is the nature of the path of yoga. It's not always going to be plain sailing. There will be ups and downs, there will be challenges. But from the point of view of yoga, Krishna tells us in the Bhagavad Gita, obstacles are opportunities. How do we transform challenging things into things that can actually help us grow, that can bring a deep nourishment? So we'll explore the nature of the path. Now, the yoga masters of many centuries ago, or millennia ago, they have left us a map and a compass. So we're in a great position. But their map was an honest map. And it includes dark zones, uncharted territory. Because what does that mean? It means each of us will have to go into the unknown. And what happens when we go into the unknown? What are the types of challenges that we can face? In the Ramayana, in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Yoga Sutra, this is all laid out for us. This is all encoded in a very practical way. So when we encounter these potential pitfalls, these potentially frustrating situations, these times when we feel like we're in a plateau, we know what to do. We won't feel like, oh, the practice isn't working anymore. We'll know, this is a sign, this is a symptom of a particular stage of practice. And we will then acquaint ourselves and familiarize ourselves with the practical means to move through these situations and actually harness their potential for continued evolution and growth. So this will be a very practical course. It's 4 sessions of 2 hours each. It will be Tuesdays 4th, 11th, 18th, 25th of June 2024. All participants will receive the recordings of every session, and prior to the main session for half an hour, I will be sharing an optional Sanskrit recitation practice. So please join. It's going to be great. Recently I've had the privilege of sharing a Living the Yoga Sutra course over 7 months, where we worked with the whole text from the beginning to the end. This amazing tapestry. Sutra means thread, it also means stitch, but every stitch, every sutra is woven with this master thread. And so the Yoga Sutra as a whole gives us this tapestry that weaves together all these practical teachings. What I'm looking forward to doing in this upcoming course is weaving together the teachings of the Yoga Sutra with those of the Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana, and Puranic mythology. So this is one of my favorite ways to work, integrating these teachings, which are all about integration, about how to bring together all parts of ourselves. So the teachings and the motifs, the symbols of Ramayana, that we will also expand and illustrate through key teachings in the Bhagavad Gita and the Yoga Sutra, these really give us very helpful, practical, resilient, robust, time-proven map and compass to actually keep practicing yoga through thick and thin, through the inevitable ups and downs of life, and have a lot of fun along the way. So I hope you'll join me, and you can sign up at the link that's below.